So this is a bonus video for my playing card box playlist, and I'm going to be looking at creating an orthographic drawing of the finished playing card box that looks like what you see on the screen right now. So let's just have a little look at what we have here. We have a plan view here, into which I have added the radius of the filleted corners. This also shows the size of the lid. So we can see here that represents there the lid that's going to go on the box. It's 1 millimeter in from the edge, and the width is there as well. We have got a front view here. I'm not worried, by the way, about the text here. I'm not going to worry about dimensioning that up. I'm just going to concentrate on the dimensions of the physical dimensions of the actual box. So I've got the actual width of the box. I've got the internal width there for the interior dimensions. I've got the interior height of the box there and the external height of the box. And then here I've got again the internal length of the space in the cavity there, and the external length of the box as well. And then here I've got myself a little magnifying option or detail option here, which shows what's in that little cutout, and I can see that this is representing the details for the little ledge here that the lid sits on. So wall thickness is 2.5 millimeters. The wall thickness here for where the lid sits is 1 millimeter, and the thickness of the acrylic lid is 3 millimeters. And then finally here we have got a 3D representation, and of course I've got my details down here in the bottom right hand corner as well, which have actually been picked up from Fusion 360 from the original graphic, which is right here. Okay, right, so what I'm going to do is recreate this right now. So let's leave that one. Let's come back to my playing card box here. I want to go to design. I want to come down to drawing. Now I find if I click on drawing, it keeps disappearing. So I've got to just mouse over that, don't click, move across, and then click on from design. I'm going to select this design here. It's all one part. There's no assembly details here to worry about, so that's absolutely fine. And it's given me some settings here that I want to work with. Now, actually, at this point, I'm going to cancel because I need to make sure that my settings are correct in my preferences. Just to be clear here, this is what's called third angle orthographic, which means that the view I see here is what's shown at this front edge at the bottom. And what is shown here is what's shown at this right edge here. I'm not going to go into the details about first and third angle. Check it out on the internet. There's plenty of information there. Anyway, this is a third angle drawing, and by default, Fusion 360 uses first angle. Now, first angle, I believe, is an American system. Third angle is a European system. And third angle is generally viewed as the better option, not because it's European, but because if it was a very, very large object that we were representing here, like a ship, then, or a plane, for example, then what I see here represents that end of the plane, for example, or the ship or the boat or whatever. Whereas in first angle, you'd see this end represented here, which doesn't make much sense because it's the opposite end of this plan view. Anyway, let's just get straight to how we do this. I'm going to come to my preferences here. And I'm going to go to the drawing option in the list here. And in here, I'm going to make sure that we are ISO. I'm going to inherit the units for my design, which is going to be millimeters by default for us. A3, sorry, is going to be my drawing area here, but I can change that later. And here's the key thing. I'm going to turn on this tick box, and then I'm going to choose here third angle, not third angle. And that's what you need to do. Click on OK, and that's going to make sure that when you create your drawing, it's set up correctly. Now, you've got to get those preferences done first before you go to design, drawing from design. So make sure you do that first, and you can see it's inheriting quite a few of those things, but we don't have a choice over first or third angle. That's what we have to get right. Okay, we're going to click on this. We're going to click on OK. And in a few seconds, we are going to have our A3 piece of paper. As you see, it's already populated with some information here. If I wanted to add to this, I could do, but I'm going to concentrate on adding in the drawing right now. My scale here wants to be 1 to, beg your pardon, 1 to 1. Obviously, I can choose different scale settings, but for the size of box I'm working with for A3, that's absolutely perfect. I'm just going to leave the default options here for the time being. But I'm going to select this as being the top view. So that's the view I'm going to work with here. Depending on how you've constructed your drawing, of course, in here, in terms of the orientation of the view box here, you'll have to potentially choose different views in this presentation. And look what's happened. I've gone off it and I've lost my option. So what I'm going to have to do here is come back to base view, which is the top tool here, and I get my options back again. Let's now select again one-to-one. Let's make sure that this is going to be the top view. And I'm going to drop this in here. Now, it looks like at the moment as if this is sort of like a fill design, but don't worry about it, because when I click on OK, you'll see that that disappears. If I want to edit any features of this, I double click on it and I bring this dialog box back, and I can then try out different features of this. You can see at the moment that makes no difference, but this option here will give it a fill, and this will give it a fill with hidden edges. I'm just going to go here with visible with hidden edges. Okay, so that, in fact, actually, I don't think the hidden edges matter there, but I will keep that. Let's click on close there, and now let's bring up a child object to this, or a projected view. I'm going to click on this as the parent view, bring this down, and then now I'm going to click on the tick box just there for the time being, one at a time. Now double click on this, and now I'm going to obviously select a few features there as well. Now we can see how the hidden details, should I say, projects through there, and we can also pick up some details there from the parent as well. And I can also turn on other features too. Again, I'm not going to worry about this right now. Click on close. I can now click and drag that and move that around as well. Now, let's also get another projected view. Now, the one over here wants to be projected from this view. So I'm going to click on that, drag this across, click on OK, and you can see that that's inherited the same values again from the parent. So I'm going to be happy with that as well. The last thing I'm going to do is do my 3D view. Now, for this, I'm going to come back to a projected view, and I need to click on this view here as the parent, and then bring this across, and I'm going to click on OK. But of course, it's inherited the details from this view, so I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to make sure that I instead have this shaded. I'm not going to have this without hidden details, and I'm going to leave it as a one-to-one sketch again. Also with this, I'm going to turn off any tangent views, and it's going to make it so I've got nice smooth corners. Okay, so that's the basic drawing in place. I'm not quite sure where that line's appeared there, but I think when we export this as a PDF, it disappears anyway, but sometimes that happens, which is a bit of a glitch. I'm just going to double check here. Yes, it didn't appear in this one, but it does appear there. Very strange. Okay, let's get some dimension lines in here. So dimension tool, here it is. And this is much easier than programs like TextSoft Design because I have to just click on the lines that I want to select. So let's have a look here. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I've got my dimensions for the width of the box here, and notice that I'm running it off the drawing. In fact, actually, if I have a look at this, I shouldn't really have that dimension inside the drawing. I should have that one outside the drawing. So I'm going to make sure I have that one sticking to the outside there. Let's go back to here. So I mentioned there with the dimension tool about I just have to click on lines, but that's not always the case. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I actually have to click on the edges of the line here, don't I? So let's click there. Let's click there. Let's pull that down. Give myself plenty of space here because I also want to have another dimension line here which is smaller, and that wants to actually be closer to the box. I might at this point just click off there, click on this dimension line, drag that up a little bit so things are a bit neater. Let's go back to that dimension line tool again and keep going. So I want that dimension there, and I want that internal dimension as well. Good. Okay, and that looks fine there. What else am I going to do? Let's have the length over here. Bring that down. Let's have that internal dimension, should I say. Let's bring that down to there. Anything else I need to add here? I mean, what I could do here, if I'm not happy, let's right click on OK there again, or escape key. If I'm not happy with that dimension there, what I could have done, of course, is I could have added that dimension in over here instead. So you might prefer that. Although I'm going to have my little zoom in feature here. So let's actually undo that, the detail image. Let's just add some dimensions up here. Again, dimension tool. Here, I want to have the size of a lid, which I think is going to be that dimension there, like, let's zoom in here and get the right thing. Yes, it's that dimension there. And I'm going to have the dimension of the lid here at the top coming off like so. And then I think now I'm going to actually have the radius of that fillet coming down like that. So it's a bit of a variation from what I had before. I feel as if this is better because all my dimensions are coming off the drawing. Let's now do the little detail view. I'm click on the little detail icon there. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to I need to select the parent view, which is going to be this one. I'm going to select that point as the center of this kind of magnify view, pull it out to about there, and then pull this over to, let's have it over here. Let's have it like that. And then this is going to be a wireframe view, with hidden details. And I'm going to perhaps, no, I think I'm going to be okay. Let's have some short and tangent edges. I don't think that's going to make any difference there. Yes, it is. Look, what I want to do here is just select this. I think I actually, yes, I want tangent edges off there. There we go. Now back to my dimension line tool, and let's just think what I want here. Let's show here the width of the material. Let's show here the is it going to let me do it there? Yeah, it's good. Let's have there the thickness of the lid. We need to have that wall thickness just there where we have the cutout. And then let's also, can we just bring in that dimension there as well? I don't think I need to include that because I think it's fairly obvious that 2.5 minus 1 is 1.5. So I'm actually going to escape that on the keyboard. And I think that is my drawing done. I can't think of any of the dimensions that I need there. Fantastic. Okay, as I say, I'm not going to worry about dimensioning up any of the graphics or text here. It's just getting the main dimension details down. If I'm not happy with any of the positions here, what I can do is grab the parent view. I can move that around, get this child view here, reposition that, reposition this, grab things, move things around, perhaps grab that, bring it a little bit there. Oh, also with this, if I wanted to, oh, no, double click on this. What I can also do here as well is change the scale of this. So if I want it a little bit bigger there, because I think it's going to be easier to see, let's click on close there. There we go. That might be a bit easier for us to work out what's going on. I don't know, maybe times 2 was okay, or 2 to 1. Okay, good. So there's my orthographic engineering drawing complete. I hope that was useful, and let's see if that's the end of this playlist.